The company has a big client coming today. I didn't expect it to be my own brother, Julian, whom I haven't seen in 6 years. He was stunned to see me. Aurora, what are you doing here? Why didn't you come home after you got out? I've been looking for you for years. All my colleagues were staring at me. Annoyed, I turned to leave. Julian quickly stepped forward and grabbed my right arm. But his face was filled with shock. He stared at my empty sleeve, lost in thought. Where's your arm? I didn't answer. I just pulled the sleeve out of his hand with a dark face, revealing the 2-finger-thick metal frame inside. It's right here. His eyes widened, his voice a little hoarse. Come home, forget the past, we're family. Family? I haven't had a family in a long time. Julian stared at my right arm. He opened his mouth several times but couldn't say a word. The company leader reacted quickly and vacated a conference room for Julian and me to talk privately. The awkward silence in the conference room was finally broken by him. When your sentence was up, I went to pick you up, but the prison people said you were already released. I raised my hand and looked at the watch on my left wrist, feeling a little irritable. When did you lose your arm? While I was in prison, I said casually. In prison? Why didn't you contact me? Why didn't you come home after you got out? Aurora, I'm your brother. Hearing him call himself my brother now, I only felt incredibly ironic. Go back and do what? Wait to be thrown back into prison again. One sentence stripped away all of Julian's hypocrisy. He stiffened his neck and couldn't say another word. I'm going out first, don't bother me again. When I came out of the conference room, everyone in the company looked at me in surprise. They never imagined that a small company clerk with a disabled right arm would have a connection with the head of the GU Group. Even the leader, who usually always gave me a cold shoulder, now warmly handed me a glass of warm water. Headache. It looks like this job won't last. Soon it was time to get off work, and I was standing in line to punch out. I saw the company boss walking out of the conference room with Julian, arm in arm. He spotted me at a glance. I quickly looked away, but then I heard a child's soft voice from outside the company. Dad, Mom and I are here to pick you up from work. Julian, Ryan wanted to come find you as soon as he got out of kindergarten. My body stiffened. It was Cora who was speaking. She was my closest friend back then. I would recognize her voice even if she turned to ashes. Julian didn't speak, picked up Ryan and kept staring at me. Cora followed his gaze, her eyes fixed on me, and the smile on her face froze instantly. Aurora? What are you doing here? You've been in Shanghai all this time? Why didn't you come home? Even if you've been to prison, your family won't abandon you. The colleagues next to me recognized Cora at a glance. Mr. Julian's wife is actually Cora. I really like her novels, especially the first one, Sour Oranges, it's so good. She looks even prettier and gentler than in the videos. No wonder she can write such a good book like Sour Oranges. My heart clenched. Thinking of that book, I still felt heartache. Without a word, I punched out and walked out of the company with my head down. Cora stepped forward and grabbed my arm, startled. She suddenly lifted my sleeve, revealing the metal frame inside. Ryan had never seen such an arm before and started crying loudly. Cora didn't even comfort her son, but her eyes turned red. Aurora, you've suffered. The past is in the past, you're like this, come home. We're not just sisters-in-law, we're best friends who lived in the same dorm in college. Even if you've been to prison and are disabled and stole my things, I won't abandon you. Aurora. In just a short while, she had mentioned, I had been to prison twice in front of everyone in my company. This seemingly praising but actually bandy, this pure and innocent green tea act, really made me feel disgusted. I turned my head and stared at her. She was wearing designer brands from head to toe, and the crocodile leather bag alone was worth $1 million. No one would have thought that the now glamorous young madam of the GU Group, a well-known novelist, couldn't even afford a full meal back then. Seeing that I didn't speak, Cora spoke again. Aurora, are you still angry about what happened back then? Are you still blaming your brother for sending you to prison? But you broke the law. Shut up. You know the truth of what happened back then better than anyone. I don't want to have anything to do with the GU family. Don't bother me again. Julian couldn't help but speak. Aurora, why are you still so willful? How are you going to live with one hand? Don't try to be strong, come back, I'll help you. How am I going to live? Haven't I been living well for the past 6 years? I quickly walked into the elevator and left the company. Brother, I did need your help when I was in prison. Every moment, I was waiting for you to come and save me. Even if it was you who personally pushed me into that hell. After leaving the office building and turning the corner, I got into a black Rolls-Royce. My husband, Adrian, immediately noticed that my aura was off. After I briefly explained what happened, my husband felt remorseful. If I had known, I would have gone up to meet your brother and that trash. How dare they bully my wife? They deserve to die. Do you need me to take action? No need, I just hope they don't provoke me again. My husband squeezed my left hand. I'm always here. The next day when I went to the company, everything was different than before. My colleagues were both afraid and disgusted of me. They must have found out about the news between me and Cora before. I pretended that nothing had happened, but the boss, with a bowed back and a smiling face, arranged for me to deliver documents to the GU group. I didn't want to go, but I didn't want to abuse my power. After thinking for a moment, I still walked into the GU group building. I hadn't been here in 6 years, and most of the employees here didn't recognize me anymore. But there were still a few older employees who stood up and nodded to me directly. Miss Long time no see. Ignoring them, I went directly to Julian's office. I knew it was he who had arranged for me to come. Aurora, you are a member of the GU family. What would others think if they knew you were working as a clerk in a small company? Where would the GU family's face be? The GU family's face? Wasn't it all lost 6 years ago? I rubbed my empty sleeve, which I had long been used to. 6 years ago, Aurora was still the proud miss of the GU family. I achieved fame at a young age, becoming a well-known writer just after turning 18. My sales and reputation both topped the charts. My brother doted on me, and my parents loved me. I had also been admitted to the Qingbei University that I had wanted to go to. I had everything and felt like the happiest girl in the world. Until I met Cora, who lived in the same dorm as me, in college. Her poverty was obvious. Her clothes were washed until they were faded and patched. She didn't even have bedding when school started, let alone the thousands of dollars for tuition. Believing myself to be happy, my unprepared kindness began to overflow. The sense of accomplishment of being a savior blinded me. I was unrestrained in how I treated Cora well. Helped her pay tuition, bought her bedding, took her to buy clothes and shoes, and loaded her meal card with 5-figure sums. I even brought her into my life. Took her home to meet my parents and brother, introduced her to all my friends. I even taught her how to write novels, teaching her step by step. Cora was smart and gentle, the complete opposite of my passionate and proud personality. She knew how to make my parents happy, and she also knew how to appear weak in front of my brother, which made him feel protective. I had been immersed in happiness for too long, and my perception of change had become dull. I don't know when it started, but all my friends stopped contacting me and started hanging out with Cora instead. My brother began to pursue Cora intensely, sending her expensive gifts and spending every day on the phone with her in her dorm room. But for the first time, he forgot my birthday and didn't contact me for a month. My mother remembered all of Cora's preferences, and every week she remembered to invite her home for a good meal. But she no longer gave me any reminders or advice. I couldn't help but lose my temper with my family, asking them why they were treating me so coldly, but they said I was overthinking things. Cora is so pitiful, you're being too much, fighting with her for attention. Until the summer vacation, I returned to the GU family manor alone, and found that no one was there. The butler awkwardly said that my father, mother, and brother had gone on a trip abroad with Cora. Not one of them had even thought to tell me. I cried and made a scene, feeling like the sky was falling. But all I got in return were even more disgusted scoldings from my family. You're becoming more and more unreasonable. Cora is so pitiful all alone. She's never been abroad. What's wrong with taking her once? My mother slapped me for the first time. Aurora, you've been the GU family's heiress for so long. How can you be so intolerant? She'll be your sister-in-law in the future. What's wrong with me treating her well? My brother was also harsh with me for the first time. I never objected to my brother dating Cora, but I didn't understand why, for her to become my sister-in-law, I had to be pushed out? Was there not room for 2 girls in this huge GU family? Julian's phone ringing pulled me back from my thoughts. He took the documents I handed him with one hand and hung up the phone with the other. Mom wants you to go back tomorrow. I was a little dazed. The love my mother had shown me before that incident, and the ruthlessness she had shown me afterward, were intertwined and confusing. I couldn't quite remember which one was my real mother. I nodded in agreement. The next day, I arrived at the Gu family manor in casual clothes, only to realize that this wasn't just a simple meeting. It was a celebration party for Cora. Her book, Orange is Sour, had had its rights bought by the Jiang Group, and was about to be made into a movie and a TV series. Being associated with the top-tier Jiang family, even if it was just a book, greatly boosted the Gu family's image. The Gu family manor was decorated in gold and jade, and the guests were all wearing high-end dresses and exquisite makeup. Only me, with bare face in a t-shirt and jeans, was out of place with everything here. I had been played again. Cora's voice sounded coldly behind me. Aurora, I didn't think you would come. It's been 6 years. What are you doing here? There's no place for you in the Gu family anymore. Your brother dotes on me like crazy. Your mother says she wishes I was her daughter. I sneered. Too bad you're not. You're just a second-rate thief. Cora's face changed drastically. Just as she was about to say something, my mother, Eleanor, made a grand entrance. Cora led her son to greet her, and my mother smiled at her daughter-in-law and grandson, her eyes crinkling with happiness. The next second she glanced at me, and her smile instantly vanished. There was no joy or surprise at seeing me after so long, only blatant disgust. Julian dragged me in front of her. Mom, Aurora is back. She's not doing well. She should come home. Just give her some money. What's the point of letting her come back looking like that? Even though I had predicted that this would be the outcome, my heart still ached. My mother looked at my right arm with disgust. Cora couldn't help but smirk beside her. Cora just partnered with the Jiang family. Don't cause any trouble because of this second-rate thing. Mom, I said. The title I hadn't uttered in 6 years now felt foreign. From now on, we'll all live our own lives. Mrs. Eleanor, goodbye. I changed my address, and my heart was completely dead. I turned and left resolutely, but tears still flowed shamelessly. My mother used to love me so much. Every time I won an award for my work, she was happier than I was. Until Cora appeared. Until that press conference that changed my life. Orange is Sour was my work. After everyone's attitude towards me changed, I turned my grievances into motivation and wrote this book. The new book launch was particularly grand, with reporters and book fans surrounding the venue. My brother, mother, and Cora were all sitting in the audience. I was talking with the host on stage, but my eyes caught sight of my mother holding Cora's hand with love, smiling and talking to her from time to time. That was the gentleness she hadn't shown me in a long time. The press conference was going smoothly, but at the highlight moment when my book was brought out to be displayed, Cora suddenly went on stage, with tears in her eyes. The host seemed to have been waiting for this moment, expertly handing her the microphone. Aurora, I don't care that you stole my idea. I don't care that you stole my manuscript. I don't even mind that you took the entire article and used it as your own work. But how can you deceive so many book fans? They like you, they believe in you, but you've betrayed that trust. This is something I really can't ignore. Everyone was shocked, including me, but definitely not my brother and mother sitting in the audience. They both looked calm and composed. Flashes of light kept flashing, and the camera recorded all the precise evidence provided by Cora, as well as my disgrace. My outlines, manuscripts, drafts, and materials had all become Cora's work. She stole the information that was on my computer, but I had been wary of Cora long ago, and the only people who knew my computer password, besides me, were my brother and mother. I shouted desperately. It's not like that. No one cared about what I said. The press conference was cancelled. The editorial department sent me a subpoena, demanding high liquidated damages. I was cyberbullied, and everyone was condemning me. I went crazy, but at my own manner. I saw my brother and Cora passionately kissing. Why? Just be your Gu family daughter-in-law. Why do you have to ruin me? I asked Cora hoarsely. My mother rushed over and gave me a solid slap in the face. She's going to be the Gu family's daughter-in-law. Of course she needs some honor. You're going to get married in the future anyway. What's wrong with sharing some of the honor with your sister-in-law? Haven't you gotten enough rewards in the past? Aurora, Cora has nothing, and you have everything. Don't be so petty. I covered my face, incredulous. Petty? But that was my work. The work I had poured my heart and soul into. Cora's face was full of tears, and she knelt in front of me weakly. Aurora, I'm sorry, but I really need this achievement to be worthy of your brother. My brother protectively pulled Cora up, kicking me hard. Aurora, how can you be so insensible? Forcing Cora to kneel. Unwilling to share even this small achievement. I don't have a sister like you. Am I heartless? It was I who helped Cora with everything I had when she was at her poorest. It was I who brought her before all of you. Yet she stole everything from me. Who is truly more heartless? No one helped me. I begged people myself, sought connections, hired a private detective to find evidence to prove my innocence. Just when there was a glimmer of hope, my brother personally pushed me into prison. Aurora, why can't you learn to be obedient? Do you want to ruin Cora? At that moment, I was terrified. I couldn't go to prison. With a criminal record, how would I live my life? I begged Julian to let me go. I'm your own sister. What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? He left without looking back, abandoning me in prison, sentenced to 3 years. The people in prison had been bribed, giving me special attention. I was beaten black and blue every day, but the prison guards turned a blind eye. Every day, I longed for my brother to visit me, to save me. But what I received was my right arm being broken alive by the inmates. No one cared. I dragged around that broken arm, wishing I were dead, until the entire arm festered and stank, and it had to be amputated. Fortunately, a few loyal fans believed in me and used connections to get me released early on the grounds of my lost arm. Only then did I save my life. Honey, are you all right? My husband's words pulled me back from my memories. Ding, the sound of my phone, a message from Cora. Even a dog remembers a beating, still not behaving after being crippled. Trash, get lost, or next time it won't just be an arm. I made up my mind. Honey, did your company buy the rights to a book called Tangerine Turned Sour? Not sure. I don't concern myself with such small matters. Hold a press conference for this book. Some old news should be made public. Okay. With Adrian's personal instructions, the press conference was arranged luxuriously and grandly. Cora and Julian, arm in arm with Eleanor, attended in full dress. They were overjoyed by this grand occasion. Cora had published 3 books after Tangerine Turned Sour, but the response was lukewarm. People said she was creatively spent, and some even began to question the scandal from that year. After all, her later books were worlds apart from her first. Right now, what Cora needed most was to prove herself. And Zhang's fanfare gave Cora the greatest confidence. She encouraged Julian and Eleanor to invite all the powerful and influential people they knew to the press conference. Now it seemed she had invited the right people. Cora, you're such a talented woman. Zhang's has never used such a grand event to promote a novel that hasn't been adapted into a movie yet. You're the first. Rumor has it that Zhang's young master Adrian personally ordered the press conference. Julian, do you have a personal relationship with Adrian? Can you say a few good words for us in front of Mr. Adrian? The praise made the 3 of them lose themselves, naturally forgetting that this book originally belonged to me. Everyone said that Mrs. Adrian, whom Adrian doted on, would also be attending today. Married for 3 years, no one had ever seen Mrs. Adrian's true face. Today would be considered Mrs. Adrian's first public appearance. Wearing a black diamond-studded evening gown, revealing the world's latest custom-made bionic prosthetic arm, I appeared at the venue. Adrian was delayed but had already given instructions. The venue's bodyguards and Zhang's executives, upon seeing me, all swarmed around me, fearing I would suffer even the slightest mishap. Who is that? Such a grand entrance. Those people must have been hired, right? This is Cora's special event. She didn't even get this kind of attention. Look at her right arm, she seems to be disabled. Hearing this, Julian turned around and immediately saw me being surrounded and walking into the venue. He quickly pushed through the crowd, reaching out to grab me, but was directly thrown to the ground by the bodyguards. What are you doing? Open your eyes and see, I'm Julian. No one paid attention to him. The noisy venue suddenly fell silent because of this unexpected incident. Everyone stared with wide eyes, as if they had seen something incredible. Cora and Eleanor rushed over, screaming and throwing themselves at the bodyguards, but were also directly subdued. Only when I gave a hand gesture did the bodyguards release them, and the three struggled to get up. Aurora, what are you doing here? Stop causing trouble. Leave quickly, this is not a place for people like you. Julian spoke through gritted teeth, but did not dare to act because of the bodyguards. With a glance from me, the bodyguards all stepped aside, but their eyes remained glued to me. They knew that if Adrian had an accident, they could still survive. But if I was hurt, they would suffer a fate worse than death. Aurora, who exactly are you? Why do they all listen to you? What else could she be? Mom, she's just a small clerk at a small company, and she's disabled. She must know that we're holding a press conference here today, and is deliberately trying to cause trouble. Aurora, hiring these people must have cost a lot of money, right? Your outfit is also very expensive, right? I've already said that I won't despise you for having been to prison. What are you making a fuss about? Cora spoke up at the opportune time, and Eleanor nodded in agreement. Aurora, this year is a big year for the Gu family. I'll give you 1 million, just leave if you want money, just say it, no need to make such a big scene. Someone next to me had already recognized me. Isn't that Gu family's eldest daughter, Aurora? She even said that this book Tangerine Turned Sour was her book. I remember she fled in disgrace at the press conference that year. Now, hearing that Jongs has bought the rights to this book, she's come to make trouble again. She's really haunting us. Cora is so unlucky to have such a sister-in-law. Julian's face was dark, filled with resentment. Just as he was about to reach out and grab me, that row of bodyguards simultaneously extended half a foot, leaned forward, and all glared fiercely at him. He directly retracted his hand. Aurora, I was going to look for you these 3 days, but there were too many things to arrange for the press conference. Go back first. I will definitely look for you after the press conference and give you an explanation. I sneered. Is your explanation some amazing thing? I already told you not to provoke me. Not wanting to say anything more, I lifted my dress and walked towards my special seat. Julian spoke again. Where are you going? Those are all VIPs, all top tycoons that even the Gu family can't compare to. Aurora, do you want to go there to find a rich husband? Cora looked as if she had seen through the truth. Aurora, how have you fallen to this point? Do you want to make the Gu family lose face completely? Besides, with your background, you even want to marry into a wealthy family? You're not even qualified to be a mistress? I frowned and asked, what is my background? Stealing manuscripts, fraud, prison, disability, which of them is enough to qualify? The bodyguards' faces were as dark as ink. Daring to say such things to Mrs. Adrian, did she not want to live? I directly stepped forward, without hesitation, raised my right hand and slapped her. The force of the prosthetic limb was extremely strong. Cora's face immediately swelled up, and even blood flowed from her nose. You. She was about to get angry, but saw that row of menacing bodyguards. Julian and Eleanor stepped forward to help Cora up, but also dared not speak angrily. I sat on the special seat, raised my hand, signaling the press conference to officially begin. The people in the venue had long been so shocked by this series of events that they didn't dare to breathe. Still, the host was experienced and bit the bullet to start. Congratulations to Zhang's film industry for signing Ms. Cora's renowned novel Sour Oranges. We look forward to outstanding achievements in both the adapted film and television series. Now the signing ceremony officially begins. Mr. Adrian is unable to attend due to a temporary matter. Please welcome Mrs. Adrian to the stage to deliver a speech. I slowly walked onto the stage, and a wave of gasps swept through the audience. Everyone stared at me in shock. Aurora, stop fooling around, will you? The Jiang family is not someone we can afford to offend. You've already made a huge mistake by hiring bodyguards to wreck the place. Now you're impersonating Mrs. Adrian. Do you want to die? Do you want to ruin the Gu family? Get down here. Julian, forgetting his fear, rushed onto the stage, trying to pull me down. His outstretched hand was slapped away before it could even touch me. Not only does the Gu family bully my wife behind my back, But now they want to continue bullying her in front of me? Mr. Adrian, it's Mr. Adrian. Aurora really is Mrs. Adrian. Oh my god, look closely, that bionic prosthetic leg is so cool. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. My status had changed, and even my shortcomings had become advantages. Adrian stood closely beside me. This is my wife Aurora. From now on, her words are my words, Adrian's words. Her orders are my orders, Adrian's orders. No need for my confirmation. The whole venue fell silent. Adrian then turned to Julian and the other two people who were already dumbfounded. Logically speaking, you should be relatives of my Jiang family, but you did very bad things to my Aurora 6 years ago. I wanted to go after you a long time ago, but Aurora stopped me. But recently you've actually taken the initiative to come to our door. I pressed down on Adrian's hand, where veins were popping out. He looked at me, his anger subsided, and he didn't say anything more, directly sitting down below the stage. Cora, with her face swollen, stared at me in terror, seemingly already imagining what was about to happen next. Sour Oranges is my book. It always has been, I solemnly announced, and the whole venue was silent. Evidence was displayed one by one on the large screen in the center of the stage. There were screenshots of chat logs between me and my friends discussing the details of the novel. There was a video of Cora secretly opening my computer and copying all my writing materials. There was PS proof that the manuscripts and outlines she provided were fake. There were the heartless words my older brother said to me when he dragged me into prison. There were audio recordings of Cora bribing prison guards and inmates to take care of me. Even a video of me being bullied in prison to the point of being barely alive. The scene stopped in the prison, showing me dragging my already rotten and blackened right arm, convulsing in pain. Even though my husband Adrian had already seen it, his eyes instantly turned red. Julian covered his face in terror, breathing heavily. I didn't know, Aurora, I really didn't know it was like this. I told Cora to take care of things in prison so that you would have it easier. If I knew you were living like this inside, how could I have ignored you? You're my sister. I'm sorry, Aurora, I'm so sorry. Julian covered his face, sobbing softly. Julian, you gave Cora the opportunity to hurt me. You personally threw me into prison. Didn't you know it was wrong back then? Julian, that's not a mistake. That was your choice. You chose to hurt me, that's all. Let's not meet again in the future. Coming out of the flower shop, the wind was a bit cold. I shrugged my shoulders, and a coat was draped over me. Adrian held my shoulder with a grievance. Wife, why did a strange man come to find you just now? I was stunned, my face darkening. That's Julian, my brother. We've already severed ties, he's a stranger. You can't talk to strange men, it's very dangerous. My face darkened even further. What strange man? Get lost. Adrian was like that. In front of outsiders, he was cold as ice, arrogantly like a peacock. In front of me, he regressed into a puppy, sometimes cute, sometimes wolfish. Cora and the others were right. Someone with my background really wasn't worthy of being Mrs. Adrian. But Adrian had set his sights on me. For me, he overturned the entire Jiang family. The once playful Jiang family Gongzu turned into a cold-faced giant in the business world, decisive and ruthless. All to control the entire Jiang family and marry me. A week after the press conference, I was drinking tea at home when the butler announced that my mother, Eleanor, had come to the door. Aurora, save the Gu family after all. You're also a daughter of the Gu family. Oh, don't you prefer Cora to be your daughter? Eleanor was taken aback, a sheepish look on her face. Aurora, now everyone knows we've offended the Jiang family, and no one is cooperating with the Gu family. The company is about to collapse. If you want to blame someone, blame Cora. She's greedy and she bewitched me and your brother. I don't know why I did those things back then. Mom apologizes to you, okay? I coldly looked at Eleanor. She overestimated family affection and underestimated the hurt she had caused me in the past. Mrs. Eleanor, do you think a light apology can bring back what? A well-behaved daughter? Or this arm? Her face turned livid, and she knelt down in front of me with a thud. Aurora, please, Mom is begging you. The Gu family can't be destroyed in my hands. What about your brother? And your nephew, he's innocent. Aurora, for the past 18 years, Mom has loved you unconditionally. For those 18 years, please spare us this time. At this moment, Eleanor was desperate and broken, but my heart didn't have a single ripple. She didn't realize she was wrong. She was just afraid. Mrs. Eleanor, because of those 18 years, I never went to look for you for these past 6 years. If you hadn't provoked me again and again, nothing would have changed. What I owed, I've already paid back. See them out. Eleanor was being dragged out by the servants, still begging bitterly. I thought that she shouldn't be the only one who would come to find me. The next day, I ran into Julian on the way to the flower shop. He was unshaven, unkempt, and looked haggard and desperate. Aurora, I'm sorry. These days, I've been replaying that video in my mind over and over again. I can't imagine how desperate you must have been back then. You have to believe me, brother really didn't know. I told Cora to take care of things in prison. I thought she was so kind, and you two were roommates, I never thought. I'm sorry, Aurora, I'm so sorry. Julian covered his face, sobbing softly. Julian, you gave Cora the opportunity to hurt me. You personally threw me into prison. Didn't you know it was wrong back then? Julian, that's not a mistake. That was your choice. You chose to hurt me, that's all. Let's not meet again in the future. Coming out of the flower shop, the wind was a bit cold. I shrugged my shoulders, and a coat was draped over me. Adrian held my shoulder with a grievance. Wife, why did a strange man come to find you just now? I was stunned, my face darkening. That's Julian, my brother. We've already severed ties, he's a stranger. You can't talk to strange men, it's very dangerous. My face darkened even further. What strange man? Get lost? He gave me everything he could give, without reservation. I was about to get into the car with the flowers when I heard a weak voice calling from behind. Cora. She looked even worse than Julian, radiating a faint sense of madness. Adrian immediately darkened his face and stood in front of me. I patted his shoulder, and he stepped aside, but kept staring at Cora, transforming into a guard dog. Aurora, it's been 6 years. Why do you still have to clarify? Why did you ruin me? I finally had this today. Your brother wants to divorce me and he won't give me the child. Your mother beat me until I couldn't get out of bed, and wouldn't let me take a single penny or a piece of clothing. I was cyberbullied, and all my friends stopped talking to me. Aurora, why did you show up? Why don't you go die? Looking at her hysterical state, I felt a little disappointed. How could I have been so blind to help such an ungrateful wretch? Cora, you reap what you sow. I was as good to you back then as I hate you now. You hate me? Aurora, you have everything. You were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. What about me? My father gambled, my mother is sick, I have nothing. What was it to you to give me a book? Even if you didn't have that book, you still had the identity of Miss Gu. You were still from a wealthy family, you wouldn't lose anything. You weren't helping me at all, you were giving me charity, pity, a sense of superiority from someone above. You treated me like an ant, thinking that if you gave me a little bit of benefit, I should be grateful to you. I didn't have the capital. How could I marry your brother? How could I secure the position of Mrs. Gu? I'm not like you. I have to fight for everything myself. Her words made me feel disgusted. I don't want to listen to your nonsense. Get out. You want me to get out? Aurora, you ruined me. You can forget about living well. Go die. She pulled out a hidden knife and unhesitatingly slashed at me. Everything happened so fast that Adrian couldn't react in time, and shouted in alarm. With a crack, the blade slammed hard into the prosthetic on my right arm. Adrian stepped forward and kicked Cora away, anxiously pulling me over to examine me carefully. The surrounding bodyguards rushed over in a panic and pinned down Cora, who was still cursing incessantly. Aurora, you'll come to a bad end. I glanced at her, my hatred surging. Tear out her right arm. Aurora, what are you doing? It's against the law. Don't. Ah. With a crack, the sound of bone breaking was exceptionally crisp. I turned to look at Adrian, wondering if he would be disgusted by the current me. Are you afraid of me like this? Afraid? I'm only afraid that you'll be soft-hearted. Adrian didn't even look at Cora, who was writhing on the ground in pain, and directly gave the order. This person is mentally ill and attacked someone in the street. Send her to a mental hospital first, 100 electric shocks every day. Her right arm is broken, so it needs to be treated, smeared with honey and stuffed with ants, then tied tightly with bandages. Treat it for a month first, then cut the whole thing off, no need for anesthesia. If she's still alive after that, send her to prison and find the most violent big sister to take care of her. Got it. Adrian embraced me and went home. This hypocritical guy was even more insane than I was. At this moment, he leaned over and cheekily rubbed my shoulder. Aurora, why don't you start writing again? I know you like it. Okay. And why don't we have a baby? You know I like it. Okay. My straightforward answer stunned Adrian. What did you say? You said okay? Do you agree? He was a little incoherent. You better put in some effort. I want to have two, and if you can't manage it, I'm going to make you suffer. Before I could finish speaking, Adrian picked me up. What are you doing? It's the middle of the day. Adrian carried me, blushing, as he walked towards the bedroom, saying, planting babies. My goal is a basketball team, the upper limit is a soccer team. Adrian. I'm not a pig. He threw me directly onto the bed and leaned over me. Wife, I love you. Husband, I love you too. The sunlight outside the window was perfect. The flowers bloomed again.